What is up, everybody? Welcome once again to my YouTube channel, and today let's continue with another round of the COR Championship. And today we are at Malaysia at the Sepang circuit for the Malaysian Grand Prix. We are now just going to approach the last corner of the circuit and try to get a good clean getaway for what is going to be the start of our qualifying lap. So we now cross over the line, so time starts counting, and we are now preparing ourselves for the breaking zone of turn 1, drop down 6 gears down onto second, momentarily even first, as we are now approaching the second corner. This left-hander tried to put the power down as cleanly as possible, which he did not manage to do. He slightly lost the backhand there, but now slightly uphill onto the next corner. I believe this is turn 5, a very difficult braking zone to nail, and we are away cleanly now to the swooping left-hander, which turns onto a right-hander. A little lift on the throttle, then a slight step on the brakes, and we are away. Got the apex cleanly. Now a very tricky corner, this one, as you go through this double apex right-hander. We managed to do that absolutely perfectly, no loss of traction, and now prepare for the biggest braking zone of this circuit, the slowest corner of this circuit. First gear gets the traction down as cleanly as we can, as you try to apply the power and turn at the same time, and now you brake and turn at the same time for turn 11, and now full throttle through this left-hander, which sets you up to one of the most difficult corners to do in all of the F1 calendar. We just nailed that apex, and we slightly lose the backhand upon touching that curb, but we are away, opening the RS, and now just take a deep breath and focus on the 100-meter marker board as we go braking once again. Second gear, we go for a wide entrance, but now a shallower exit through the traction down. Nearly lost the backhand, but managed to control it, and we cross over the line to post a 1:35.6, which was pole at the time with the medium tires, so the hardest of the both available. And at the end of the session, we actually came home fourth, with Jamie taking pole position and Fernando in second, both with super soft tires. Then we have Alnabo and me on mediums, Calipos on softs, Omar on mediums, then Universal, Bandicoot, Binding, and Rogue completing the top 10. Frozen Luffy not qualifying as well as Speed Killer. So let's move on into the Grand Prix, shall we? It is race time here in a very sunny Malaysia, as we have some new faces for this race and a lot of strategic diversity today, with 3 of the top 10 seaters opting to start on the medium tires. So let's see how everything will pan out over the course of the afternoon. 5 lefts and 10 rights make the 15 corners of Sepang's 5.5 km circuit, a track which subjects drivers with forces up to 4G, with its high-speed corners and heavy braking zones, combined with some very technical sequences where precision is very much the word of the day. I for one can't wait to get started, so let's join our drivers as they get ready on their grid marks for the start of the Malaysian Grand Prix. As we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Malaysian Grand Prix. El Nabo and Calipos look like their lights went out ahead of everybody else. They are up to P1 and P3 at the moment, as behind us we have Omar onto the wall. Rogue is out of the race. Rogue barely started the Grand Prix and is already put onto the wall, and that's a very shame for him, as we are now binding on the outside of Fernando as he's trying to hold on to his third place. A great start from him. Jamie goes down our inside up to P5. Fernando is still side by side with the Sauber, but looks like he got through. Now Ferrari is going to try to prey onto the Sauber driver as he gets the inside line onto turn 5. We go very wide. We try to put the power down, but we have some wheels on the grass. We lose the back end, and Universal gets through up to P6 as Bandicoot needs to avoid us by having some braking action. As we are now jumping onto the latest stages of lap 1, we are now approaching a very technical section. Universal doing basically the same as us, dipping a wheel onto the grass and losing the back end, so we are going to get a better run. We dive on the inside, very careful on the brakes to avoid any lockups, and we get the move cleanly done. So we are now preparing for this straight until the last corner. We have some yellow flags behind us. I don't know what exactly happened, but we are now jumping onto the beginning of lap 2. and we are quicker than Binding. Binding with a very good performance. He is not used to this kind of places at the start of races at least, and we are going to make a similar move to what Jamie did on the previous lap, and we are going to pinch him onto the outside and get the move done. Even though he's coming back at us with some superior traction, we go side by side through this sweeping right-hander, and we get the move done. But looks like he dipped the wheel onto the grass. He lost the back end, and he might have collected either Universal or Bandicoot in the process, but I don't think any of the drivers are out of the Grand Prix or in the grass. I just think they lost a couple of seconds to me. But nevertheless, we are moving on. The gap to Kalipos is 1.7 at the moment, as we are now jumping onto the end of lap 5, beginning of lap 6. The soft drivers are already starting to make their pit stops. El Nabo is now the leader of the race at the moment, and we have Kalipos onto the pits, I believe, as we are now hunting on Fernando, who is faster than us on the soft tires, so he's 3 seconds away from us. As we are now approach the end of lap 6, those other soft runners are coming onto the pits, and we are now following El Nabo, who is 5.6 seconds ahead of us, but Jamie is only 5/10, or maybe it was just crossing the line. But yeah, looks like no one is close to us at the moment. Omer, who survived that initial crash, has put himself with the fastest lap of the race so far on his medium tires. So the top 3 runners are currently on the medium starters, and El Nabo went to the pits on lap 7. We are now coming onto the pits at the beginning of lap 9, so let's see how quickly we get onto a set of the medium tires. As you can see by the table, Frozen Luffy has not posted the qualifying lap. He started last and is now up to the lead, starting on his medium tires, so a good strategy from him. At least it's paying off. He's at least in the lead with clean air, so probably won't have many issues throughout the race, as we are now approaching the end of lap 9. So our outer lap went fine. El Nabo posted the fastest lap of the race on hards, as we are going to cross over the line not to post the fastest lap, but we are 2 seconds away from Kalipos, so he did the undercut on us, and looks like he gained some tenths on us due to that undercut. But we now have fresher tires than him, considerably fresher tires, at least 4 laps, so that might make the difference further on onto the stint, as we now have a battle between Jamie and Fernando, I believe, for what is 4th place. Fernando being the debutee for this race, and it looks like Jamie got his upper hand work that situation. Now we are approaching those two as they are battling quite hard for 4th position. We nearly lose the back end there. Jamie overshoots the corner and is out onto the grass, but he rejoins the track side by side with us, so a pretty dangerous rejoin, if I can say so. But nevertheless, he held on to P5. Now he squeezes me onto the outside. I touch the curb, lose the back end, try to put the throttle down, but not safe to do so, and we have to concede the position, as we have some yellow flags behind us. Look like someone overshot completely that corner, or maybe just spun out, but I'm not really sure.
Just broke my wing.
So we have now Jamie giving us DRS. We are just over 1 second behind him, but at the detection point we were closer. So we are now closing up on him, and over the next laps we actually he makes a move on Kalipos, and we are now the ones hunting the Renault driver. So let's see what we manage to do here on lap 13, as you approach this very technical section. Under braking, let's see what happens. We make some tenths on Kalipos. Let's see about the exit of the corner. We have Frozen Luffy with Jamie and Fernando. Frozen Luffy has not stopped yet and is now battling with those 3. He goes onto the inside of the corner. We go under braking. We are now doing the corner. We cannot see him, and he just clamps onto us as he goes onto the pits from the inside of the corner. So yeah, he knew he was going onto the pits. He battled with those guys, and he was on the inside line and just decided to come across. So yeah, that's some brilliant racing. But yeah, that's the past is the past. So we have to work with what we've got, and we are now in 5th with Omer very close to us. So let's see if we can do anything to get up to the group in front of us once again. We are now coming onto the pits for another set of tires. So let's see which tires we are going to put on. I'm not really sure at the moment, so let's see. We are currently second place as some other drivers that have pitted more recently. So Fernando, one of the soft starters, has come onto the pits for a set of medium tires, and we are going to set a medium of tires myself, and let's see, we get a 2.3 second pit stop, which is decent. And we are going to come out of the pits. Omer is going to get the undercut on us. We are going to try to battle him. We get the inside line, but looks like he gets superior traction and he gets away on his hard tires. So let's see what we do now. Maybe we can come back at him using Rich Mix and the slipstream. Let's see, under braking we are not able to make a move. And yeah, looks like he even got onto the grass, but let's see what we can do now with superior traction. A better run at this section. No, we do not have the space required to make a move. We even get some understeer, which is very odd, as we are now approaching the hairpin at lap 21, and we are still chasing Omer. But we are losing ground for some reason. I really not understand at this point what is causing this. We should be blazing past him, but now we look at our tire situation and we got fitted with worn medium tires, as my lack of preparation for this race didn't let me know that we only had one set of mediums for this race for some goddamn reason, and we are having to come onto the pits. El Nabo did the same mistake as us, because we both practiced together and we both didn't notice this. So both have to come onto the pits. El Nabo actually got a puncture, that's why I closed up so quickly on him, and we are going onto a set of the soft tires, as he is on the hard compound. And so let's see what happens from now on, as we are now in 8th place with Universal right behind us, and we have a serious gap to bridge if we want to contest for any top 5 positions at this race. Now the race turned pretty boring for me, as we are now in lap 25. We have some yellow flags. I believe there is some car stopped at the track. No, it is Maple, but it completely was very slow. According to him, he was sick that day and he made the effort to come onto the lobby to race. But well, if my opinion is, if you are not able to race even though you wanted, if you are that slow, you don't get yourself on the racing line, you pull off onto one of the sides, and he did neither of that, so he was dangerously slow and on the racing line. But yeah, we just made a move on a lapped car. I believe it was Joe M91, as the rain is starting to come down on these last stages of the Grand Prix. There's not enough space to go for a set of the intermediates, as we have a Sauber behind us, but looks like he spun out with loss of traction. So we're going to cross to come onto the last corner of the race with, I believe it, I don't remember who won this race actually. Let's wait and see a little while longer. We completely lose the car under braking, that's how wet it was on the dry compound tires. But you are going to cross over the line to finish the race in 7th place, so some lost potential there. Now looking at the results, it was actually Fernando, the debutee, winning his first race of the season in his first appearance with a 1-2 for Renault, a grand result for them, with Omer in P3, Frozen Luffy P5, Nico Rosberg, which was Omer, in P6, me in 7, Universal 8, Cuckoo 9th, and Bandicoot 10th. As we are now moving on to the results table, or the championship table, we have Omer in first with 200 points, followed by Juno with 168, then comes Ruben with 154, then a 20 points gap to Jamie, who sits in 4th place, then El Nabo in 5th with 124 points, then we have Shizel 3 points behind of the Mercedes driver, Bandicoot 4 points driver of Shizel, then Alex with 104, then a 24 point gap to Speedkiller who is 9th, Frozen Luffy climbing up onto the top 10 with some good performances in the last couple of races. And that's it for the top 10 of the Drivers' Championship. Now, moving on to the Constructors' Championship, we have Manor still in the lead, who 82 points ahead of Force India, who are just under under 20 points ahead of Ferrari, I believe. Then with 153 points, Red Bull. Then we have Mercedes, Toro Rosso, Haas, Renault with a good result, getting up with 57 points and 8 on the standings. Then we have Williams with 24 points, McLaren with in 10th place with 13 points, and 10 points behind, sitting last, are the Sauber with only 3 points scored to date. So this was it for the Malaysian Grand Prix of the COR Championship. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like button. If you did not, the dislike button is right beside it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, more career modes, and more streams of the next season of the championship, who is underway at the moment. So if you want to see that live, come onto my channel. Hope to see you guys in the next race. Have a wonderful day.